Um, so I recently got back. So I played Overwatch for a while with my friends, and then
Mm-hmm.
I got a laptop recently because I used to play on console with all my friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got a laptop, and then I got more into it, and some stuff in life got me
Yeah.
more inside. I have a basically long story short, I got a medical condition.
Oh
And
no.
I ended up getting one, and I can't do as much physical activity as I used to.
I'm sorry
I'm
to hear
getting
that.
better, and it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
But like during my downtime, I got back into Overwatch, right?
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I've just been playing. I started getting better, and I really wanna. I think I can be a good player. I used to play all the time, and like I just want to see like the best I can play. I'm a very competitive person, so I just want to see like what is the best I can do, and I want to be the best
Sure.
I can be.
Sure. Makes total sense. Okay. So you said you're a very competitive person. Where has that outlet kind of taken you in the past? Sports, school,
Sports, yeah.
like other hobbies.
I used to play sports. I played soccer up until like eighth grade, and then I stopped.
Nice.
And then that's when I started playing like video games competitively, and like got into high school. But then like my junior year of high school, I ended up playing lacrosse, which I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed.
Cool.
And I remember just for a year straight, I like grinded that, and I really worked on that. And it's just like when I like enjoy a hobby, I like tend to hyper fixate on it, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
be the best I can be at it. And I just want to do like the best,
Right.
I
Right.
guess.
Do you
Yeah.
enjoy that process of hyperfixating and just mastering something? Oh, I assume yes.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's a very satisfying feeling, like just seeing yourself improve.
Sure. Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agree. And especially for like your longevity within that thing, if you're able to consistently improve and enjoy the process of improving, then that makes it really easy. Okay,
Mhm.
so you talked a little bit about you have a background of Overwatch on console, you got a laptop, and now you're
Mhm.
transitioning to PC. Fill me in on your Overwatch history. When did you start playing the game in console? What heroes have you mained? And then what made you
Um,
transition to PC?
okay, so I started back on console. My brother actually bought the game. It wasn't me, right?
Yeah.
And then my friend, I got a younger brother. He bought it. He was playing it. I didn't play it till probably the first Halloween event,
Hmm.
so pretty close to the full span of the game.
Yeah.
I like played a bit during the first summer games, but not really. I didn't start playing because one
Okay.
of my friends told me, my like best friend for years, who I still play with, told me that there's this new game Overwatch. He's like, you should try it, and I was hooked immediately. And I started playing. I started as a healer main. Um, I played Lucio and Mercy, and I was pretty much like a Heartstuck Gold, Heartstuck Silver. But I was just playing the game, having fun. That was like
Sure.
in my younger years. And then as I played more and started playing with more of my friends, I switched over to be a tank guy.
Mm.
And I started playing Rhine a lot. I'm a big Rhine guy. I have a lot of hours on Rhine. Um, I enjoyed playing Rhine. I turned into a main tank guy.
So what caused that
Um,
transition? Well, I mean, guess what initially attracted you about support, and then what initially attracted you to tank?
Um, Initially with support, when I first started the game, I don't have the greatest mechanical skill, at
Yeah.
least when I started.
Yeah.
So it was like that was the easiest place to start.
Sure.
And so it's just the easiest place to start. And as I got better at the game, I'm like, well, all right, now I want to try the tank. And I played the tank, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I just switched. I think that's really what caused it. It's just like more of, all right, I've played support. I'm kind of tired of this. I want to try something new.
Right.
And ever since, I've just really, really enjoyed tank.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, most everybody's path was, trying X and then, oh, this is really fun, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but you stuck with it though.
Yeah.
When did that transition happen? Do you know how many years ago it was approximately?
Oh, maybe like 4 years ago.
So
Like
you've
it
been in
was,
the grind for a while.
yeah, it's been since like probably like my sophomore year of high school.
Got it.
That's yeah, 4 years ago.
And what's the
Right now
highest
I'm a
rank
sophomore
that
in
you
college.
hit in console?
On console, I wasn't that good. I hit like 3,300.
Okay.
That was like my highest rank.
And then you transitioned to PC when?
So all my friends switched to PC like my junior year of high school. So right now I'm a sophomore in college. So this
Mm-hmm.
is just kind of put like a time frame on that.
Yeah.
And so they all switched over, and I moved on to other things. I moved on to lacrosse, stopped playing for a while. Last year, when I came to college, I saw Overwatch was only $20, and I had a laptop, so I played with my friends. And I was playing casually, like I really wasn't like
Yeah.
that like competitive with it, because I didn't think I wanted to get back into it at the time.
Right.
I was playing casually. I like just played like a gold tank games with my friends, and
Right.
just
Right.
like had fun with it. I didn't really have. I was on a laptop and like my frames are bad. I didn't play that well mechanically.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I started on a laptop as well.
Yeah, so it was all that. And then over like I'd say like 3 or 4 months ago, I talked to my friend and he had this old, it's not like an old gaming PC, but he had just bought a new one. So I bought his old PC off of him and I got a real PC and
Nice.
I invested in Kovacs as an aim trainer. I started really like studying the game and seeing how Overwatch 2 played differently and really just trying to focus on getting better.
Okay. And from there, I'm looking at your form here. It's like you hit Masters.
Yeah, I peaked at Masters 3, and I definitely should have just stopped then because I could tell I was burned out. But I just kept playing and then dropped right back down.
How, over the course of what, a day, 2 days, a week?
Like 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. Okay.
I dropped back down.
Now it's kind of interesting there because usually when we talk about like stopping, or if I've done played enough, that's more of like a daily cycle for people where they like, I tilt queued, I shouldn't have played more. I was already mad. I lost a bunch of SR. But you said it was 2 or 3 weeks. What do you mean? So break me down.
Like 2 weeks.
So what happened? What happened? Because that's a pretty big time frame.
I just like put myself. I was like going through just like a bit of a rough period, so I just kind of like put myself in front of the computer for like 8 hours a day, just like playing competitive, and it was like very unhealthy. And I just kept going because of like the lack of physical activity. I'm like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. So I sat there and like forced myself to play.
Yep.
And I could see that like I was playing good, and then I just kept playing worse. And I think it was more of a week now that I look back.
Fair enough. Still a long time though.
I'm looking at. I have like a notes app of like things I want to improve on. Yeah, it was like a week.
Okay.
It was like a week, and then like I just like kept playing those 8 hours a day, and I was like, all right, I need to stop. I need to like take a break. I need to rest. I need to play in more of like a healthy style.
Yeah.
I saw your video about like the 2-3 hours of like, trying as hard as you can and then going off with all that.
Yeah.
So I took a break. And I've been slowly climbing back up now. I think I'm 4-1 right now. I'm like 1 game away from Masters 5. So
nice. Congrats.
I'm slowly coming back as I like, I don't know, play the game so like how I know I can play the game instead of just trying to force myself to play, because I was definitely just autopiloting for those like days I was playing.
Right. It's funny how like your mental state like presents itself or demonstrates itself through your play or competitive outlet. Yeah, it's like the better you are at that point in time, mentally or physically or whatever, the more that you're gonna perform at a higher level. So finding out what's causing that is obviously the number one priority, and then also preventing yourself from making bad decisions when you are in that mental state, right? Because it's like it's gonna happen, right? Everyone's gonna have a bad day, a bad week. You said you were dealing with some physical stuff as well, so like this crap's gonna happen, right? So how are you going to? What's the best thing that you could do? How can you respond to that? So you forced it, and you paid for it.
Yeah, I forced it and I paid for it.
Right.
I've been slowly working myself back into like a better routine. It's like now it's like 2 to 3 hours of comp max a day. Like I'll do like one play session through. Okay. And then it's rest periods or go and do something else. Sure. Off roll.
Sure.
Just like something different, because like I don't know. I forced myself into this carry mentality. Yeah. Where I was like, all right, I need to be doing everything at all times. And that just like it took a toll to the point where like it's not sustainable. So I guess it's like I'm slowly working on steps just to get better in life as well right now, because obviously I'm not in like the best situation. Yeah. But I notice as like I keep working on that my play is getting back to where it was and getting better.
Yep. 100%, and good on you. I think that's something that gets overlooked for a lot of people until it's. I wouldn't say too late, but until a lot of the value of like some self-reflection has kind of been missed, right? You see a lot of people that are like 50 years old with midlife crisis. Like, let's have a midlife crisis when you're 19 or 20, right? I think that would be best case scenario. So yeah, good on you. Figure that stuff out. Like, and obviously it's like, it's going to be a process, just like improving anything else, but learning how to better manage your time and what's better for your mental state, for your physical state, obviously as well, is really, really important. And then that's going to reflect in your play. Like, I think a lot of people look at somebody like a Michael Jordan, right? I've been watching the Last Dance documentary again. Love that thing so much. And it's like, you're like, oh my gosh, the guy's just like on the grind set constantly. Michael Jordan burned out. Michael Jordan retired for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan was a mental freak of nature, and he still burned out. So it's like finding ways to, most people aren't Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that mental resilience or that drive to be that good, right? Also Michael Jordan wasn't always the happiest person either, so it's like, where is the line for you? Everybody has a limit, so it's like finding the value out of improvement without compromising the whole reason that you want to improve in the first place, which is it's fun and satisfying and productive to get better at something, right? But then obviously all of those boxes just get whited out when you burn yourself out. You're not having fun, you're not improving, and you're not growing as a person. So then why on earth would you want to do it? You deranked, you deranked, you're miserable, and you also had a really crappy week life-wise, so there's literally no upside.
It definitely just like built onto it. I kept losing rank. I'm like, oh no, this can't be happening. I gotta keep trying. This isn't me. And I just like kept forcing myself into it.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That's the funny thing is it isn't you, but how are you going to get back to being you? What were you doing before that? Like how were you approaching the game before that? So like you need to like reset to homeostasis in whatever way that you can. Because I know I've been like that many times in my life, even just coaching the game, not even playing. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're on that. Let's look through your form here. So goals for you is long term. I'd like to play in a team someday, even if it's just open division. Sure. I mean, technically, you could probably join a team now. But that's
I actually just found out that my school has a esports team.
Yeah.
They made it. Their Overwatch team made it to semis last year, and I found out that their tank player is a senior who's leaving this year.
What's the average SR of the team?
I think it's like Masters.
Oh, you can handle it.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah. Like easily.
I'm thinking over the summer, just keep working on it. And then coming next year.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Especially if you're a good communicator and you have a good mentality, which I think you do, then even if you were like still diamond at that point in time, you'd probably be fine. Okay. Short term, I'd like to see my rank improve despite my awful competitive system in place, or despite the awful competitive system in place, the most I can gain experience against Pro Plus. Okay, so what are your gripes with the awful competitive system? Because you sound like you're struggling.
I'm just I was just salty on that day, but it's just I don't like. I feel like sometimes it's matchmaking and sometimes it's how you play.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like with the way the competitive system works right now, the thing I don't like about it is that with the MMR system, right? As I rank up, I still feel like my game quality isn't improving. I'm still...
Well, what defines game quality for you?
Game quality for me is... It's a good question. It's like... Alright, I don't know. I just see like a lot of the same mistakes being made, and it feels like a lot of things are out of my control.
Like what kind of mistakes?
Alright, so I played like a game the other day, right?
Sure.
And I had a cast, and I've seen this over and over and over, where the cast, like, he's trying to front line in front of me, right? And I'm trying to, like, push up to make space, but while I try and, like, compensate for the space he's trying to take, I die because I'm trying to make up for his mistake. I don't feel like it's an awful competitive system. I think I just get frustrated with just, like, I think I get frustrated with things I feel like I can't control, and then I try and fix them. Yeah. And that's what brings down my play. I don't think awful competitive system is the word.
Right.
I don't.
But you see, it's not the competitive system. It's just it's the nature of it, a team game where it's essentially pick up basketball, every time that you queue in until you find the team. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think what you said there is like frustration at something that you can't control. Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't think competitive system was what I was looking for there.
But but your point is made, and that's why I wanted to ask those questions, because I want to know what your frustrations against. It's what you can't control. Well, you know why that's frustrating, but you also know why it's a fruitless goal, because that's always going to be a factor, and that's not only that's also always going to be outside of Overwatch as well. It's going to be life, politics, work, even stupid family and friends sometimes, right? There's always going to be things that you can't control, so it's about your response to how you control. And even if we look at it like within like the microcosm of that team fight, right? Okay, so the Cassidy frontlining like a moron. Okay, you died for it. Did you need to die for it? Could you have done your own thing and succeeded better than where you did? Or even if you want to compensate and assist him in his trolling, Could you have done it in a more efficient and more effective and more mechanically competent way? Probably, right? Because then that becomes your focus. It's not, oh, should I have not have helped the Cassidy? Maybe. How about you do the exact same thing but just do it better? You know? Because you might be right. I mean, you might be trying to compensate for some of his mistakes, and the idea was good. It just didn't work out. But then again, if you look at how you did it, again, could you have done it better? That's kind of like what I'm wondering, you know? And that needs to be your obsession, because that's what makes the game. It's not just what doesn't tilt you. It's also just what makes the game interesting. Yeah. Like, you need to be selfish in your gameplay. You really do. Because that's what allows you to just enjoy each game, because every game feels like a slightly different challenge. If you queue up with the Cassidy with ink, like, that's your ankle weight game, you know. that's an opportunity to improve in a different way or in a different manner. So just treat it like a challenge and just go next, you know. No one game matters whether you win or lose. Like, that's just the nature of the competitive system. Is amazing. You've played sports, so you know how it is. Imagine if you had a game. You're traveling 3 hours for a game in the bus, right? You get off the bus and you play a great game, and then one of your teammates like legit just trolls and like just has like a crappy attitude or something, and then you literally lose the game from it, and you drive all the way back, and you've just spent the entire week of practice for that. That's a crappy competitive system, right? Yeah. Like a crappy competitive system where you have a bad teammate one game and then you can literally requeue 5 minutes later. You know, I mean, that's all I'm saying. And the problem is that like, the bad teammates thing is like is also very relative, right? And when you get to be Overwatch League level, you know, it's still gonna be there, right? Yeah, it's just like I guess it's just that's just like built up frustrations of just like you just have those days when you try and play and it's just like, all right, maybe today's not the day. Right. It's just like I'll queue for 3 games. But you're the variable. You notice that, right? Variable. You're the variable. Yeah, I know I'm the variable. When it's the thing is like when that happens, on days where you feel okay, you either don't notice it because you're focusing on your own gameplay, or you respond to it better. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I very much know that my mentality kind of just needs to be that every game is trying to go into to focus on my own play and try to like improve and not worry about what's going on around me. I feel like that's something I definitely struggle with because I'm like, all right, this is going on around me. How can I fix it? And I just can't. Right. I need to focus more on what I can do as a player. Well, here's a question. Why do you think that that's the case? Do you have did you have like were you a team captain or some sort of responsibility? Were you an older I actually when I peaked back at like 3300, I completely forgot to mention this. I played for like a unofficial console team that just played through some tournaments. Yeah. And I used to shot call, and I during that time I was kind of like the leader of that team, and it was just kind of I think that's where that comes from. It's just like it was I kind of helped my team, and I talked through like, all right, what are the problems? How can we fix them? Right. And I think that mentality is just kind of stuck with me. Yep. Well, it's all about managing expectations. If it makes you feel any better, that was me when I first started playing Rank. I was the guy typing in team chat, please everybody join voice. I was shot calling every single game. I had terrible ranked anxiety because I felt like every loss was all my fault because I was like trying to manage all these different personalities. I'd get the Torbjorn OTP, and I'd literally just sweat, bullets trying to like play around that guy, and like playing what the team needed. I even played Mercy one season, and I hated it because that was back when Mercy was OP, like the early Valk meta. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna help my team. I don't want to let my team down. And it just made me miserable. Because that's like what I did in IRL. I'm like the team captain. I was like, in football in high school for 2 years, and then I was a teacher, leader, this and that. And I always wanted to take charge, but it's just like they said, it's just pick up basketball. You can't do that. You burn yourself out. So I think manage your expectations accordingly. Shift ranked to be your drill practice, and then when you eventually find a team, that's where you place expectations on your teammates. Because if they don't live up to those expectations, you can have conversations with them, right? You can lead, we can discuss, we can critique and criticize and bring each other up. So yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway. Okay, so tendencies like that are a double-edged sword, right? We kind of established that. Yeah. Do you know the player Dante? Yes. Okay. You know how he plays ranked? No. You ever seen it? Okay. Maybe worth checking out even just 10 minutes of one of his streams. That's how we want you playing ranked.
Okay.
He calms a little bit, but he legitimately looks like he just took a hit off of a blunt every game. Legit looks like he's just chilling. You know,
Yeah,
and
I usually
that's what we
watch Cloudy for pro play.
Yeah. Okay, Cloudy's great. Cloudy's definitely the guy to watch for Ryan, but even Cloudy could get frustrated sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Training schedule. I don't feel like I have a lot to add. You've already brought up some of the things that I've spoken about, so you already seem to have a good idea of what you should be doing.
Yep.
So do you have any questions with that?
Not really.
Okay.
I think I just gotta stay consistent with it.
Okay.
Like when I first got on PC, I got the Kovacs, and I was just trying to improve my mechanics, and I spent like an hour a day on aim trainers before I'd play. And then like as I slowly got better, and it wasn't like, and my aim wasn't absolutely horrendous, and I could manage. And then I slowly brought it down a bit so that I could focus more on my gameplay itself.
Sure. Where are you now?
Like I think it's staying consistent. Usually it's like 30 minutes. I have like. It's around 30 minutes. I have like a playlist set up that I like to go through before I warm up, just so it's like warm my hands and such.
Sure, of course. If that's something that you enjoy doing and it gets you mentally warm, then roll with it. I can tell you objectively from like a coaching standpoint, it's probably not necessary at this point in time. If you feel like you want to try a week without it or try something different, like a death match, but do it for 10 minutes and then just roll into rank, that might be worth an experimentation. But if you do enjoy it, then it's up to you, mate. It's up to you. I just don't expect at some point the diminishing returns. Well, they probably already have kicked in at this point in time.
Yeah, I don't do it as much anymore. Just to
fair enough.
I don't do it as much to improve my aim. It's more just like it warms me up and gets me in the zone.
Sure, works for me. Works for me. Well, that's I actually just had a video on that, like what a warm up should do. And getting in the zone is one of the three that I think people forget. So I'm glad to hear that. Hero pool and rank. Do you have any questions with hero pool?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I just play. Usually I start with the Rhine because that's what I'm most comfortable on. Okay. And then if it doesn't work out, I'll switch it around.
Okay, sounds good.
Since I've been playing the game for a long time, I can be flexible.
Sure. Have you heard me talk about dynamic hero pools before in any of the videos you've seen?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's essentially like trying to specialize. So on a week-to-week basis, you generally want to try and play around 3 tanks if you're playing 2 to 3 hours. To give yourself time to like really master the hero's mechanics and nuances. Like imagine something like memorizing and getting better at diva positioning takes a lot of effort, right? Knowing ball rolls takes a lot of effort. Being able to land your shatters and control your fire strikes takes a lot of effort. They all have unique mechanics. So you say that I can play almost every tank at a sufficient level, but the sufficient level right now is high diamond. You don't want to be high diamond. So what I would recommend is spending on the meta what you need, what you enjoy, focusing on a handful of tanks. And then if the meta shifts, or like let's say you join a team and they need you to learn so-and-so divas or whatever, then you can shift it around, right? But it's better to condense your training on a 3 to 4 week month block basis than it is to play a little bit of everything all the time. I would rather you rather 2-trick Reinhardt Ram and maybe throw in Diva in there too for a month and then never touch Winston and then pick up Winston when you need to. You will get better faster at the heroes if you approach it like that. Just something to kind of keep in mind. Now that might not be something that you could just like flip like a switch right now. Like right now you might play like 7 or 8 tanks. Okay, can we make that like 5 or 6? Just something, a step in the right direction.
I don't actually play 7 or 8 tanks.
Right. Okay. Fair enough then.
Yeah.
Sleep is definitely low. Is that related to your health or?
It's just I'm figuring that out.
Okay.
I've been talking to people about that. Out.
Okay. Good.
Work in progress.
Keep up the good work. That one's very important. Yeah. Okay. What do you hope to get out of the session? I hope to build a better basis of understanding and how I can improve my game. Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Last question here. I feel like as if it's my decision making or understanding in a way. Now you said you filled out this form when you're a little bit tilted, so just keep that in mind. Yeah. I feel like I have a good understanding of how the game should be played, but when it comes to deciding when to engage or what I want to achieve with a certain engagement, I struggle. Anything to elaborate on there?
I think it's just like when to be thinking about certain things is the best way to describe that one.
Okay.
So like sometimes I'll tunnel vision the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll be tunnel visioning like, oh, their Ana is out of position, and then I like, because I'm tunnel visioning that, I forget to block the shatter.
Yeah, it's a hierarchy of needs, right?
It's a hierarchy of needs. I just need to figure out like it's like I feel like I have most of the pieces. Like I'm not saying I've like mastered every piece of Overwatch, but like I have a basic understanding of what it means to be a tank and what I need to do.
Sure. So you know all the tips, the tricks, the ideas, the strategies. It's just in game you don't have the skill of like getting the order of like what do I need to be fixating on right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, it makes sense. I mean, welcome to my world, right? I know about everything there is to know about Overwatch, at least my current understanding, right? So I'm like, I'm not top 500. What's going on? You know, like I know, like it's the skill of like actually applying that knowledge. It's like really, really, really hard. Okay. Any other questions for me before we hop in?
No.
Okay, shoot me that code. Or codes or whatever you want to
open it up. Right. Yeah. I just saw it. Load it up real quick.
You're good. No problem. No problem.
It's a what's it called? It's an Antarctica map, and
all right, sounds good.
First half of it is kind of a roll. We 99 them, and then it got a bit more competitive. But it's like, yeah.
I want a code where you feel like I wasn't sure exactly what to do here, or I feel like this is something that I could improve at, right?
Yeah. Oh. There we go. Alright. I just copy the code.
Sure. All right. Antarctica is a weird map. What are your thoughts on it? Enjoy it? Dislike it? Indifferent?
I like parts of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first point that we planned feels weird to play on.
Yeah.
It's just like that weird choke off to the right of it. It's just like what do I want to control here? Is it point or is it that choke?
Yeah.
And it's like depending on the team comp, it's hard to decide.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so Diamond currently, is this mostly Ryan?
This is Diamond 1. This is Ryan gameplay.
Ryan, okay. Get my UI all situated here, and then we'll take a look. So what's like the goal of Ryan? Like, you know, actually, let's put it this way. What is Ryan exceptional at compared to other tanks? Everything's relative, right? So compared to other tanks, what is Ryan exceptional at?
Brawling, I'd say.
Okay, what does brawling mean?
He is burst at close, so if you're able to get close to them, you can burst them down pretty easily.
Sure. There's not many tanks when you have decent heal support on either side that can really meet you toe-to-toe. I mean, I don't think there is any tank, not even a Ram, I don't think. Ram requires shooting your shield at least a little bit first. So, okay. Excuse me. So, toe-to-toe, look at you get your comp, you have a lot of healing. Yeah, so if we meet toe-to-toe up top, theoretically, in most circumstances, we should be able to take that top.
Yeah.
So, this is when we get really, really, really tricky. And I can already see your confusion here.
Yeah.
So, let's start with this. What space does your team control right now with your positioning?
Right now, we just control basically that choke right behind me.
I would say even all the way up to this point right here, right? Because if they walk past this line here, you will hit them with your hammer. So your DPS can swing all the way to even here without really being concerned, because you're gonna protect them. You control this area here. Okay, perfect. Now let's think about this. Does your team control this space here?
No.
Okay. Does the enemy team control this space here?
No.
So it's contested space essentially at that point in time, right?
Yes.
It's where you're not really sure. So my question for you is, and this is, I guess, comes back to what you were wondering, is it better for you to hold the line and control the space here, or is it better to go to point and control this space here? I know you don't know the answer to this, but I want you to think about it, and then I'll help you along the way.
Okay.
If it makes you feel any better, this is very tricky, but this is extremely important.
I think right now, maybe it's better to hold the space where I'm at right now, because I have a soldier and a Cass.
Okay.
And if I give them that that position, they can kind of just rain down on my team in the open.
You see, that's the thing is like, how much can you help your team by being here? Can you help control space by being here? Yes.
No.
Yes,
I can.
But you said no. Why did you say no?
Why did I say no? Because the other team has more range.
Right. So when you go here, you can help your team control space here, but not as effectively as here.
Yeah.
Right. So you would be less effective. Now that's only part of the equation though, because if this is useful, you need to control it, right? Take the space, right? But the problem is that you pointed out is that if you go here, then you give up something that might be even more valuable, which is the high ground here on both sides.
Yep.
So then the question for you is, what is the most valuable space for my team to control? Yep. And what is the most valuable space for the enemy team to control? And don't let them do it. So right now, if you go here, with hindsight coaching, your Sojourn lives. Right?
Yeah.
And you win this fight. But would that be the appropriate move most of the time?
No.
No. So that's it. You know? So you roll out as Ryan, you go, where does my team want to control? Where does the enemy team want to control? I'm gonna make sure that they don't do that. That's it. That's it. So you look at this here and you're like, oh, you know, if I'd gone here, I could have helped with space. But if you go here, then this Cassie just does the exact same thing, but does it in the other direction. And you do nothing. Right. Whereas at least here, if anybody had pushed forward, you could have actually hit them with your hammer. You know?
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's that simple. So, good fire strike. And the funny thing is you can actually see, like, you do rotate back to help. You clear them out. And you hit a nice fire strike, but you want to guess where the casting comes from?
Right where I left.
Right where you left. Right where you left. You know, it's funny. So my question for you is there anything that you could have done better here?
I don't think so.
How about this? Your Sojourn dies.
Yep.
You rotate here. With your supports. Okay?
Yeah, that would have been better.
Do you see? Well, why would it have been better? Why?
Because my cast would have then had that high ground, and we would have controlled all that space while they're in the open.
Think about it selfishly. Your dive Reinhardt. Did you see my collab with Cloudy the other day?
Yes.
Yeah. So dive Reinhardt. What does this position provide right here? Look.
Provides access to just their whole team.
Right. It's a lot easier to get on top of their squishies from this position than it is here. You're a little bit closer. That's it. And then by being here, yes, your team is still vulnerable to here. But this is a lot less of a concern to me than this flank is here. And you could do a better job controlling this and control the space. See, that's why Reinhardt's so important. When you're thinking dive Reinhardt, when you think selfishly with Reinhardt, you end up doing selfless things. That's the key thing. And so you're thinking selflessly here, but by thinking selflessly, you're taking a position that doesn't help you. And by taking a position that doesn't help you, you're letting other people take good positions that help them. And then they live, right? And what are you doing here? You're shield botting, right?
Yeah.
And you can't help it, right? Like you couldn't just pin in here, right? That wouldn't work, right? You need to find a better pathing.
Yep.
So I know a little bit what we're talking about is a little bit, I wouldn't say esoteric, but it's a little bit like kind of hard to describe, but that's the overall mindset that we need to be in. Okay. Because if we can answer these questions consistently, then everything about your Ryan will get better. These are broad concepts that are always applicable. Yeah. Screw these guys. Stuff them in the choke. You know what I'm saying? Like, do not let them take this high ground. Do not let them. If they want to take the high ground, then they're going to have to go in a hard... I mean, can they? Yeah, they can. Okay, so they have to go in a hard flank, right? High risk, high reward. Make them do this. Stuff them in the choke. There you go. Easy. Okay, we go. What happens if they rotate left to this side? I mean, this is what I would do if I were them, right? They're not going to beat you in the choke, so what happens then?
I would probably go meet them at that choke.
Now, what would that open up for them?
That would open up the right side again.
Right. But can you do anything about that?
No.
Not really. No. Now, if you hear somebody over here that you can pressure, you'd go for it. But that's good team play from them. But make them do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. What you're doing right now is making it hard for them. If they do split off, they have to do it by themselves. They can't have their signal with them as well. So this is what we want. Nice. Ah, yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you got sticky windowed. You got sticky windowed. I will say it might be worth a turnaround to see if your team is with you in these situations, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is a classic situation where it's a little bit more on your team rather than it is on you. You play the corner here. If your team doesn't have the balls to actually walk forward and take a better angle and like actually shoot the choke, then that's on them. This is a fine play. I think you got to. I think you still win this fight, though. I think you still win this fight. Yeah. Oh, you definitely win this fight. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah. See, it was all part of a plan. You just baited them to use the Sigma Flux, right? Yeah, this is fine. Play for yourself. You know, play for yourself. Your team benefits. There's the Reinhardt swap. Congrats, you succeeded. Now, how big of a threat is this Reinhardt?
He's not that big of a threat.
No, he's not a threat.
Because he's half health, his heal's running with him.
Right. Does he? Let's just put it this way. Does he have Shatter?
No.
Okay. Is he? Does he have Shatter? No. Is there anybody else playing aggressively at this point in time? Potentially, not sure. Right.
Potentially, not really.
I think the idea is with Ryan is like if you can ignore Reinhardt, you always want to ignore Reinhardt. If you can, you won't always be able to, but if you can. So like I look at this here. And your Sojourn's completely trolling the lobby. However, I also don't see any reason for you to be dropping in Reinhardt at this point in time. You don't care about Reinhardt. You would rather make sure that these guys are not pushing up here because you can kill them easier and they're more dangerous to your team. This guy doesn't have Shadow, ignore him. Just stand up here. And then if you see your Sojourn sliding in, okay, yeah, she's trolling. But maybe we could have helped this. Maybe we could have helped this. Or if our Sojourn just stays here and shoots, maybe we could have shielded this. Or if they try to push you in high ground, maybe you could have pinned in and killed them, right? Yeah. This is like, you know, it's so hard, but like, oh, look at you doing the counter pin, you know, good job. You're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. Yeah. The only time he's actually of concern is if he's the only thing that you can go for, or if he has Shatter. Then it gets important. Like even right now, it's like, who's our focus right now? Do you see it?
It's the Ana.
Not even the Ana.
Oh no, it's the junk.
It's the junk, right? Okay. It's the junk. This guy's going aggressive. He's the easiest to kill. Go beat the crap out of him. Ignore the Rein. Ignore the Rein. Yeah. Screw this guy. So like right now, you're so obsessed with this Rein. Who cares? Yeah. Like now, if he's the only thing going aggressive, then obviously, but he's not. Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. This is like a little bit of mechanics, but this isn't anything that you don't already, you know, you don't already know. We want to fix like overall mindset stuff.
It's just about applying it.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Now, you want top right. You want to make sure they don't get top because you want to go point without getting off-angled from high grounds. So then this is the question you have to ask yourself. Can we take top right?
It's going to be hard with the junk.
Yeah, but what do you have?
But we've got Noon, and we're about to have Nano.
Okay.
No, sorry, they are about to have Nano. We've got, sorry, I was looking at the wrong
You're
team.
good.
We got Moira ult.
Right.
Which that's how I'll heal that.
Right. So maybe you could take top. That's all I'm saying. If they're like running like May Reaper, you know, then no, you would not be able to take top. So just get like, you don't have to overthink it. If you think you can take top, take top. If you don't think you can take top, then don't take top and try to play around to control, you know, the off-angles or whatever. But I think I'm okay, there you go. Now we take top.
Yep.
Now it's going to take a little bit of faith that your Moira's going to coal, but even if you don't coal here, it's still probably worth the investment. Now, you got to worry about Reinhardt now.
Yeah.
You don't like that. It means we can't play dive Rein.
Yes.
Sigma Mill. Or did you get Suzu?
No, I blocked that.
I was going to say, 74.
That was an argument mid-game of if I did it or not. I was trying to figure it out.
I think it was a single frame. I think you did.
Yeah, I think it was a block.
Sigma Mill.
Yeah, and I died for that.
Yeah. It wasn't great, but we can live with it. Use 3 ults.
Yeah.
We had a winnable. Your Kiriko should have trusted, you know. No Suzu, trust the Rein, you know. That's on your Kiriko. Your Kiriko sucks.
Yeah. Because I.
Yeah, good enough.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Because it's just like no shield, no Suzu, one option, and it's just kind of forward in my mind.
I think if we're being really nitpicky though, Maybe not really nitpicky. Oh, jeez. A little more decisive with our movement here. Probably would preserve some shield.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a choke. This is rough, you know. But we could have been at 300 instead of 74, you know. So just something to keep in mind, and that's something that's obviously never going to be a waste of attention. Preserving your shield HP is like always going to be helpful, you know, always.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any questions so far, by the way?
Not yet.
So we're taking a look at how we're controlling space. You know, what role, like who we're focusing on, and then also maybe a little bit of shield HP. We'll keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. You win.
Yeah.
You win. This is huge. Now they're going to have to rotate to point or push through a choke. See, the thing is once you do this, you either get one of two things happening for you. Either you guys start getting first point cap, or even better, you don't do anything. One of them is going to be stupid and try and drop the point, and then you just, you know, rain fire. So
yeah.
Why are you swinging on Reinhardt?
It's the only thing there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and you guys got point. Was it who was on a point? Okay, Kiriko Sojourn. Yeah, that's good. That's one nice thing about having the mobility, you know, they can go just right back up top. Oh, this is so satisfying. I'm not gonna lie. This is like Reinhardt ASMR, these fire strikes and swings, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But see, the thing is like now it's like this to me is a little bit of a mistake. Just a little bit of a mistake. Be very careful about how far you go, because you've controlled the high ground, right? Just chill. Just hold this corner right here. Force them to do something, right?
Yep.
Because you're like, oh, shatter, right? But who cares, you know? Oh, tragic. Oh, you're gonna die. Oh. Oh, yeah, this is just, it's kind of funny because this is actually where you lose. If you're gonna lose the fight, it's gonna be from this. So it feels like even though you've dominated the space control here, why? Just sit right here. You control every angle, you control all the space. So just control the space. Don't force it. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to die like this. Obviously, counter pin is very important as well. Yeah, I mean that's why you die. It's not that deep. Okay.
Yeah.
Frantic typing or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. Now we're gonna ask the same question we did in the previous round. Can you take this high ground again?
Yes.
Why? How?
We got more ult, and we're about to have a Kitsune, and we're about to have Sojourn. So we got plenty of resources.
Yeah. This is trolling.
Yeah.
You're trolling. Because the thing is you're like, oh, well, I'm giving my team the opportunity to poke here, right? But who's poking? Your Moya? Your Sojourn?
Yeah.
Right? Who's shooting for them? Everybody.
Junk.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Junk, damage boosted Cassidy, everything. You're going to lose that trade every time. You should be at 500, 600 at least shield now. At least. Uh-oh. Yeah, so like Riptire, whatever, go next fight, but like that's definitely a habit we have to break.
Yep. Yeah.
He thought he was being cute. Frantically pinging.
Yeah, I'm in team chat trying to get him to listen, but I don't know.
I mean, okay, but here's the thing though, is like, she's fine here.
Yeah.
You know, she just do something. Stop sitting there and be like, fall back, fall back. I mean, she's not in here like the Junkrat is. She's just taking an angle. She's a sniper, right? And she dies because she misses the shot. But like also that's a little bit unfortunate, right? But like we could have at least been starting to push high ground, or at least controlling here, or shielding and waiting. I'm also concerned, it looks like you're not interested in taking top again, which is strange to me. Do you remember what you were feeling at this point in time? Or thinking at this point in time?
Not exactly. I think it was the junk spam that scared me away from it.
Yeah, but you should be able to handle that if your shield management's better, right?
Yeah.
Because now they have nothing. They have like who cares about high noon? Like you have Kiriko, Sojourn. Like you're gonna win top. You're gonna win top. So win top. God, you're so mad.
Yeah.
It's a 4v5. Like a shield her. Like that point in time, you could actually shield her. But yeah.
That's one thing I've been just like working on. Like big thing in like Overwatch 1 and like Overwatch 2 that I always did this. It's like if you're down one, you don't fight. It's just like a mentality I just kind of need to like break. Like you sometimes
fight with the majority. You know, fight with the majority.
I'm just giving them cap.
Right. Fight with the majority. And the other thing too is as well as it's like sometimes it's your teammate's right. You know, like your Sojourn there, I don't think is actively trolling. She's in a relatively distant position, just farming shot and maybe looking for an early pick. Pretty low risk play. She gets a little bit unlucky, but it's also you don't really help her out. Like, you know, and there's also times when it's like a 4v5, but you guys have mass ults, and it's like, hey, let's just take an advantage. Like, no, let's just go. You know, like if you had Nana Blade there, let's just go. You know. Please don't. No. Okay. This one I'm 50-50 on, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuss at you for not preserving your shield, but I'm also thinking your Sojourn's in spawn, so maybe you could just shield him for some span now, and then when your Sojourn gets closer, you 3-2-1 walk out with full shield. So I think you could have played this one better, but yeah, I don't know. You're so mad. And now you go.
Now I go.
Oh, jeez. I mean, there you go, right? We went top. Shocker.
Yeah.
Because even though you don't directly get any kills, you get so much respect for that Kitsune that your Sojourn just has like literally no pressure at all. She just gets free kills. Yeah. Okay. Toasty?
So yeah, I think that...
Toasted? What does he say?
I don't know. Toasted, I think. That's my guess.
I guess so. All right.
So yeah, I think that's just like a bit of confusion on engaging. It's just like sometimes I just get it in my head. I'm like, all right, we can't engage right now when I just need to go.
Yeah, well, even when you quote unquote need to go, it's like think about like, is shielding junk spam right now going to harm me in 15 seconds when I actually go? No.
Yeah.
You know, because the irony here is that you're so concerned about like, oh, preserving my shield HP. I don't want to shield for my junk. But then literally twice already in this map, you've trolled your shield HP directly before you want it to go for absolutely no reason at all.
Yeah.
You've got your priorities completely mixed up. You're all concerned about preserving your shield HP when you're ticked off at your teammates.
Yeah.
But when you do it selfishly, it's like, you know, I don't care about you guys. Screw you guys, you know? Now, I will say here, this is a tricky balance. So for you, I'm thinking like, can we shield our Sojourn here? But then if we shield our Sojourn here, what does that open up here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I would do here is, okay, well, you tell me what you do. What do you do here?
I think I just end up holding the corner.
Right. What should you do right now? Like at the exact frame.
Right now I should be on my DPS.
Yep, you should be shielding your DPS. As soon as they drop, 3, 2, 1, what do you do? What do you do like even now, right? Like, okay, they've dropped. Yeah. Now what? Now what?
Now I move over to my Sojourn.
Right. You could move over to your Sojourn, but then you're actively listening and thinking about what? Right?
That choke.
This right here. So if you don't see these guys, because then you need to go and meet them on the corner, control this space, right? Yep. So you either help your team control this space here. Oh, shoot, they're going here. Yeah, screw off. No, back to your team, right? So you kind of pick and choose. You bounce back and forth depending on who needs help. Because I guarantee you, if you go here and shield the Sojourn, they are going to be pushing here. I promise you, 100%. So then you need to go put them back out again. Put them back out of pasture. And this is a mistake. Big mistake. Because the thing is I don't even necessarily have a problem with you dropping. You might need to drop. You're like, sometimes it's just going to be the case. You're going to have to be cart bot as Reinhardt sometimes. But if you're going to have to worry about objective, when do you need to do it?
Later.
Right, like the last possible second. Last possible second, right? So that you can get as much guarantee that they're not contesting high ground. Because the worst thing that could happen is that you drop early and then their Ryan touches point or whoever, and then they just, you know what, even worse, they just ignore point and they just take top as 5 and you're sitting on the floor watching, right? Wait for the last possible second, you know? It's fine for you to be on point because you take no damage, right? But there it is. You see it? You see it? Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing, right? Now, your response here is really good. This is really smart. You're like, I need to get involved here. I wouldn't necessarily, you see this? This is scaring them. This is scaring them. This is scaring the Ana. The Ana's scared. The Rein's freaking. The Mercy's scared. This is good. This is what we need you to do. But we should not have even been in this position in the first place.
Yeah.
Careful. This is the, hey, if you leave me on point, I will hit you in the butt. Right? This is exactly what we need to do. You don't even know there's an Ana behind you. You should die here, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
I definitely should.
Very nice. Honestly, pretty good shatter. It's a decent trade.
Yeah.
But even like right now, walk. You,
yeah.
Or you know, I like this here. Even like retake top, right? But you're not like, think about it. Am I controlling space right now? No, I'm not. This is why you have to think selfishly, right? Because if you're thinking playing dive Reinhardt, what are you doing right now? Nothing. You're doing nothing. You're not controlling space. You're not threatening a kill. There we go. No. Last possible second.
Right
last possible second, right? Last possible second. Always the last possible second. Whoopsies. I need to work on our counter pins as well. This is like the third time you've gotten pinned.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I don't think you had it yet.
I think it was close.
It was really. I don't think you had it yet. No, you didn't.
No.
Yeah, never mind. Disregard. Oh, risky.
Yeah.
It just keeps happening. Yeah. I mean, here's the funny thing, though, is why do you guys win this fight? I bet you don't even know.
Let's see.
Your character is just playing, like, DPS game. If I was the enemy, if I was on the enemy team, I'd be so mad at my Reinhardt right now. Like, you're there. He's so obsessed with like outbraining you, just bullying you around. He literally lets your DPS do whatever they want. I mean, this is the problem, right? This is what this is what you were doing a little bit of on the first run, right? You're so obsessed with the Rein trade that you're giving up. Like, you're letting your Sojourn.
Yeah.
Ironically, it was also your Sojourn who was trying to go for aggressive stuff and just got punished for it. So, what do you need to practice? What are some skills that you're seeing so far? We have a few more minutes, but what are you seeing so far?
Yeah. Controlling space.
Okay, what does that mean?
I think sometimes I just get caught where I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
Or I'm trying to put in the words. I guess it's playing more selfishly, playing for valuable space that I need instead of I get caught in trying to do what I think is the right thing in my mind and not reacting to what's going on in the situation. So like when I was sitting up top there, and I stayed on that left corner and I let my Sojourn die, or I'm trying to get my team back because I want to fight a full fight. It's more playing, I guess. I'm trying to put in the words. I'm struggling, but doing what the team needs more than what I think is right. Like, not setting that in my mind right at the start of, all right, this is what I'm going to do this fight.
Check that second sentence. Let me know what you think. Mentality of reacting to what's actually happening instead of what should be happening.
Yeah.
Kind of like the stagger situation. And then I'm going to throw in shield, HP preservation. Yeah,
that too.
Pre-fight. Or just say even early fight, you know. Pre-fight, you know, you do whatever you want with it, but okay. Do you have another code? We can probably watch a few more team fights.
Sure. Let me just pull one up. I've got a Vana one, I think.
Sure.
I get rolled in this one.
Delightful.
It started off well, but then all right. Copy.
Perfect. I just think when you're thinking about like what space am I controlling, what space am I good at controlling with this hero, right? Then, you know, from there you can kind of make the decision about like how do I want to dive? Do I want to shield my Sojourn? It's definitely a little more detail oriented than somebody like Cloudy would have you believe, but you know, ultimately the goal is still the same. Whether you're diving as Rein or whether you're shielding as Reinhardt, it's this, you're doing the same thing. Like, I look at versus their composition and it's like, you know, short sightline, right?
Yeah.
Either contest, prevent their team from taking off angles on you, or stuff them in a choke. And that's going to involve threatening people. See, the funny thing here is it's like, this is kind of what we talked about.
Yeah,
so like,
this is shield preservation. I don't need to shield right now.
Right. You only need to shield if the Cassidy swings wide.
Yep.
And if the Cassidy swings wide, he walks into your team's LOS and he can be shot. So it's a trade. If he wants to swing wide, he has to take a risk. Right now, the Cassidy does not need to take a risk to be able to poke your shield. Do you see that? You're giving it to him for free. It's not even helping you control space. Like, you're thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna let my team poke down the choke, but turn around, look at your team.
Yeah.
They're not poking the choke. This is the line. Hold the line. And obviously versus this composition, this kind of foolishness is going to get punished really hard, because even what you're doing right now in theory is kind of cute. You know, it's like, okay, this Sigma's going to, Cassie's going to swing wide. I'm going to make sure he doesn't take an angle. I'm going to push him, dive him, right? But if you're going to do that, obviously make sure that he's actually pushing first. But number two, look at your shield.
Yeah,
right?
I got no help left because I just used it.
Right. You don't have the resources to go for a rather aggressive play. And then even this right here, respectfully, is brain dead. You don't care about this space. Turn around. This is, if anything, this is the guy we push. Put him back in his place, then reset, do it again.
Yep.
This is insanity, right? Decent use of cover, and obviously that's helpful, but a little bit unfortunate on the fire strikes. I mean, I think like throwing him at squishies as Zenyatta is fine, but that second one should fit. Again, here with the shield, like just stop.
Yeah.
You know? Now the funny thing here is like now if anything, we should be like walking forward aggressively with their shield, but you're not. You're standing there with your shield. So if you're going to be shielding now, what should you be doing?
I should be in front of my DPS.
Right, you should be in front of your DPS, or even walking to like here, like just like generally looking scary, so that your DPS have an easier time dealing with this Ramatra. But you're standing still.
Yeah.
Should almost never be standing still when you're shielding. Almost never. Always be moving forward or backwards, or I guess laterally, right? I mean, and then you leave your Symmetra out to dry. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. She kind of was trolling, to be honest, but like, yeah. Now here's the funny thing. Ignoring the shield preservation for just a split second, why do you swing on Ram as opposed to the backline here? Because we talked about this. You never go for tank, almost ever. But why do you do it here?
There's a whole team that's going to look at me with Discord Orb, and the Ram will just turn and shoot at me as well.
Well, okay. Think about the aggression, right? Who's in a controllable position right now?
Ram.
Right. You can't. These guys are too far away, right? It's not that dumb. It's not that hard.
I'm just not going to be able to close that distance,
right? And
the Ram's in the position to die.
Right. So just hit him, and that's what you do, and that's why he dies. Now, you almost die as a result, but that's not a shock, right? You did that. You cleared the angle. Now you should. Where should you go right now?
I should go over to that corner where Cass is.
Why?
Because that's controllable space. My team's threatened by him more than the guys to my left.
Exactly. So it's funny. The people that threaten your team also coincidentally happen to be the people that you can actually dive. That's the cloudy mindset that's married so beautifully with the selfless mindset. The people you dive are the people that you can help your team versus. You pressure the Ram because he was feeding. But if you don't pressure the Ram, he kills your team. You pressure the Cass because he's feeding. But if you don't pressure the Cass, he will kill your team. So right now, you're not controlling space. Yes. I mean, right there. right there. And no chance of you being punished either. You could have even pinned the Ram here, right? Where like you would have had cover. Like you punish the overextension, right? You punish the aggression. That's what you're doing. Nice fire strike, by the way. Both of those. Now you got a real tough call here. Because who do you go for? Because now you're like, okay, these guys are actually walking forward, but also this guy's still more aggressive.
I'd probably fire strike the squishies. If I don't know how I play this, I don't exactly remember, but what I would try and do is I'd throw my fire strikes at the squishies. Swing on the ROM as far as I can while on a path towards the squishies and see if I got to reach them.
Low risk, low reward play. Seems fine. What's the high risk, high reward play?
And then over towards the squishies.
Okay. And then
get them.
Yep. So let's see. You go for the low risk, low reward play, maybe because you had shatter.
Yep.
So you didn't need to go for the pen. Okay. Nicely done. Any questions?
No.
Let's end it with that. That was really good. So what are the skills we need to practice? I mean, we talked about 3 of them. Have we confirmed our suspicions with 2 more team fights of footage, or have we changed them?
We confirmed them.
Yeah.
Shield's a big thing. Got to preserve my HP. Just don't hold it up because you can.
Need it for movement, right?
Yep.
Forward
for movement.
or back.
Controlling the space that's threatening to my team, not just controlling space in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then
control space that's threatening to your team / that's killable by you, because they are usually the one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. What else?
Yeah.
That second one there. That's a little bit of what we talked about even earlier in the review, right? The mentality of like being
reacting to what's actually happening instead of just trying to do what you think is right.
Right. It's fighting that exasperation, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Not really. I think this was really helpful.
Yeah. I'm glad.